Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian Report. We'll be looking at the ASX in detail and the Seng Nifty and China in the daily chart. So with the ASX 200 here, it's reasonably easy trend to understand in terms of Elliott, in that we are looking from wave B down to wave C, and we're looking for 5 waves as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Wave 3 is not finished just yet, and as simple as this little leg here may be, it's still possible that, just to sort of chuck a spanner in the works, if we put wave 4 out of the way here, it's also possible to have wave A all the way over here and still another wave B over here. So that's the sort of thing that wave 4s can do to us. Yeah, which a bit careful. But the good news is that the time the market pulls down from the top down to this low here to the wave 4 of 1 less a degree, and remember this spike that we're seeing here is not there on the cash market either. So we're sort of drawn off here. So we can do our covering our shorts down here and do our buying, mainly thinking of the equities, but also in this particular market as well. So let's just dive in here a little bit further and take a closer look at all of this here. So what we were looking for here, just get a bit of space in here. This is the 4-hour chart, so wave 1 and 2 here, and we're getting this long third wave in here. And because the third wave has got the extension in it in the 5-wave sequence, then we could look at wave 1 here and wave 5 being much the same length. As I mentioned before, we're dancing across this number here, the 5,800, which is a really important number here, and the market will tend to stick to this number 8 here. But also too, we're going through a series of wave 4s across this particular number here, so we're going to get a choppy environment. So yeah, we just need to, it's not an easy process getting through here. I mean, what we see here is not what we get next. We always get the opposite of what we're looking at next. Okay, so I'm just going to go into the 2-hour chart, and one of the things here that, just to sort of put a little bit more complication into it, but I sort of want to get it out of the way now, and we'll have to sort of readdress it later, is that from wave 2 here down to wave 3 here, we're looking for 5 waves as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So if I've made a mistake in here at all, it would be that the mistake would be that this would be the count here. So 1 and 2 and 5 waves down for the third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave, and then we get this wave over here. So we'll have another set of structures over here as well. I've counted down here, and I think my original count is right, but we may have to prepare for another extra wave in wave 4 across the 5-8 here. It's not going to affect our low down here, but it's just something that I need to address. But I've counted all through here, and I feel like I've got it right. But if I have got it wrong, that's where I would be wrong, and it won't show up just yet. It will show up later on, and we'll look at that, and we'll talk about that again in due course. As it stands here at the moment, normally we can look at wave 4 pulling back to the wave 4 of 1 less a degree, which is done, and it's done it in quite a nice sort of fashion. So we're pretty much looking down at the 5-7 area here. Technically, I'll need to double check that, but that's where this next wave can come down to as such. I'll just do another check here. There's just a couple of different ways we can look at that's the 61.8% mark here, the 161 here. So that's suits it there. The way that I got the 5.7 was I've taken 61.8% of the length of the third wave here, and then added it to the top and brought it down to the 5.7. So I can do it that way. I could. There's a few different ways I could do it, but we'll leave the 5.7 as the basic target for the time being. So last time we sort of spoke, we were down here looking for an A and a B and a C, coming back to this wave 4 here. So we've got that now. So what we're looking for now is 5 waves down into the 5700 here. Now, for traders that want to go short, you just really need to be mindful or careful that, well, if I was going short, then I would want the 5,800 as a retested resistance here, because if I've made a mistake in this here or anywhere, and the market moves up here, this is where it would move up from. So short traders can just have a little bit more patience and wait for that to become the retested resistance here at 5.8, unless you're short already. I'll just move into the tick chart here to have a quick look in here. So this wave 5, need down. I mean, of course, even though we're looking at 5.7, at the end of the day, we'll be counting the structure as it moves down. So we've probably got wave 1 and 2 in place here at the moment. But as I mentioned, it's, you know, if this is going, you know, if it's going to move down here, first of all, it has to move. This is the main block here. The other block, of course, you can always take the last leg here and put that there and look for the 61.8% mark here. So that comes in there as well. So there's that's the 50 and that's the 61.8%, and it's right on the 5.8. So that's where the support is going to come in from there. So having that as your resistance there would be what we're looking for at this stage. Yeah, but we do have a nice A, B and C wave up to here. Also, too, the other point, Wednesdays and Thursdays, well, Wednesday is going to be the choppy day. So normally it's like a V-shaped day. So it would probably suit all of this. And Thursday in a bull market is normally the bear market. So in a bear market that we're in now, Thursday could be the rally day as well. So need to be mindful of that. Our original strategy with all of this, of course, was really just to stay out of the way with all this. So if you're short from up here, we wanted to, you know, keep the stops out of the way on this one at least, and get down to here. And I think we talked, maybe it was one of the other markets, but we talked about taking a percentage here, then shorting basically back up here, then taking, you know, another 50% profit here, and so on, and keep working this correction to the downside, but not really to trade inside all of this here, because it will get choppy. All right. I'll have a quick look at China. It's on the right track here. We looked at China coming up to the 61.8% mark here, and then it had this little pattern in here. So we had a line under here and a line across the top there to go either long or short. So even though we were looking for a bear market, we need to be on the right side at the right time. So we've got to look at both sides. So it's broken short nicely here, and we can see that, or you'll be able to see too, that, you know, if we call this down for 1 and back for 2 here, then we've got a nice strong third wave here, we've got a fourth, and so we've still got further to go. This pattern is not finished to the downside just yet here, so we're still looking further down. Yeah, and the Hang Seng, I'm a little bit unsure about the Hang Seng. I've got makes a nice A wave here, and then an A and a B, and then I can see 5 waves up here for the C wave of B. This move down through here can be counted as an impulse wave. Technically, I could put this here as a wave C of a wave 4 here for that, but it really hasn't broken sort of lower down here. So if I had to, I just need to see a little bit more here, because this move down through here can be wave 1 and 2 here, and then 3 and 4 and 5 coming in through here. But I don't know about this just yet, because it looks like an impulse wave coming up here. This is the same for the Nifty as well. So it's in a couple of markets. So let me just get this organized here. So of course this market is moving in line with the rest of the global markets, and we can look at this as being an A wave here, a B wave here, but we're still one wave short for a C wave coming in through here. The other point here, we'll have a look at this a bit more detail, but the other point here is that with a wave 4 here, we would normally see that trend line breached in a wave 4. So yeah, and we haven't seen, it's not breached yet. So it's very typical for that wave 4 to breach that trend line, and that hasn't occurred just yet. So that's what we're also looking for here. I'll just go into the 2-hour chart here and pull this apart a little bit here. So what we've got here, I haven't done a lot of work on this just yet, but I can count this. This B wave is interesting. We've got a nice impulse wave down through to here. This B wave here can be counted in a couple of different ways. It could be counted as an A and a B and a C wave here for the A wave, down for the B wave and up for the C wave here. But if you've got a triangle pattern in here, that works as well, in terms of an A wave, a B wave, a C wave, a D wave, and then an E wave up to here. But it doesn't matter, we still end up with a B wave at this point. My real problem here is counting this C wave to the downside here. So you know, we could look at this as wave 1 and wave 2 here, but it doesn't fit as wave 3 and 4 and 5 here just yet, because it counts as 1 and 2 here, then 5 waves down here for the third. So this has got to be the 4th and the 5th. So it's really 1 and 2 and 3 to here. So we're looking for wave 4 to here, but wave 4 should pull back to this area here, then fail. But the problem with that is that this little move up here appears to be an impulse wave of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So this is not done and dusted yet here. I reckon that this is, I still need to sort of tune into this, but a pullback into this sort of space here, then another move up, and then another move down to get this C wave over here. But like I said, I'm not too sure about this so far. But the main point here that I wanted to get across here is that it's not in a bullish setup yet. Yes, you can pretty much always buy something when it hits the trading level 1 here. 1 can be 1 cent, 10 cents, $1, $10, and 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, and so on, because it always comes in as a strong number, the strongest number, number 1 is. And yeah, it would confirm to me to be bullish in this market when the top of group 1 becomes the support. So group 1 is simply 1, 2 and 3, in this case 100, 200 and 300. If this ever became the support here, well then that would be the catalyst to trigger the equities in this market to go along here. I'm not familiar with the Indian market, so if anybody knows the dominating sectors and the top stocks in here, can you let me know, and we can have a look at those and keep an eye on those in the background. All right, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.